Okay, so the long-awaited Across the Spider-Verse trailer has finally arrived. Now, when it comes to trailer reaction videos or trailer analysis, I do fear that sometimes I'm kind of just recapping things that happened in the trailer. This time, I'm gonna try and just get a bit more stuck into observations that I've made and get a bit more speculative. But like the trailer, we're gonna have a little recap because a lot has happened between the previous first look teaser trailer for Across the Spider-Verse and this trailer here. The last trailer for this that we got released around the time of Spider-Man No Way Home, which released last Christmas time. It's now Christmas time once again. Merry Christmas, everybody. And we've only just now got the very second trailer for the film. And a lot has changed. It was originally going to be Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. It's now been renamed to just Across the Spider-Verse, and with the third film being called Beyond the Spider-Verse. Now, I must say this does put my mind at ease because with a lot of Part 1 movies, it can have quite an anticlimactic, unsatisfying ending, feeling like a story that's just been sliced in half. And that means you have to wait such a long time for an actual satisfying resolution. I mean, look, I'm not a massive Harry Potter fan or anything like that, but when I did watch the movies, my god, I thought of how unsatisfying it must have been for people that saw the Deathly Hallows Part 1 to wait all that time for the Part 2, because that just felt like half a movie, maybe like the act 1 of the overall story. Now, I don't know if this title change reflects anything in the film's content, and as it is, I do trust the filmmakers behind this project. While I believe this sequel does come from a different director and different writers, the film is still being produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and if this trailer is anything to go by, there's a good reason to be excited. We've had all kinds of reveals as well, thanks to merchandise too. We got the reveal of the cyborg Spider-Woman, Spider-Punk, who now appears to be kind of an amalgamation of Spider-Punk and Spider-UK, which makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because I think Punk was quite like an Anglophenia kind of thing. Makes a lot of sense. We've gotten glimpses at Ben Reilly, and yeah, this film is really shaping up to include more Spider-Men from the different comics continuities than the previous one did, the previous one sticking with just a handful, which I think worked to its benefit, but I do appreciate the ambition of them going much bigger for this sequel. So anyways, let's talk about the new trailer. I'm also going to talk about the YouTube Premium exclusive Afterparty.
Halt, human! Before you may proceed with the video, you need to be scanned to see if you have subscribed to the channel or not. If you wish to survive, subscribe to the channel now. Beep boop, scan successful. Don't forget to like the video on your way out. But remember, all of this content is made possible thanks to the great patrons, and if you would like to become one, you can hit the link in the description below to help Pop Overlord out. Enjoy the video.
So one of these things the trailer opens with is a speech from Rio Morales to Miles, back in Miles' own home dimension, and it seems to be gearing up kind of a coming-of-age story of Miles' independence. Now, the way that Rio is talking all about, like, how she's tried to make him feel loved and included, and how she wants him to be able to do that for himself, it does lead me to wonder, is Rio Morales going to die? Is she going to kick the bucket in this film? If you've read the original Ultimate Spider-Man run with Miles Morales, you will know that Rio Morales does bite the bullet pretty early on into that run. She's killed by Venom. With that said, Venom doesn't appear to be a part of this movie, so, you know, obviously they do things differently in films and comics, but still. Now, this is intercut with flashback stuff, which I usually find a little egregious in a short trailer, because it's like, I want to see the new film, I've already seen the first one. All the same, it does work to contextualize this, and it's only a very small part of it. It's also intercut with stuff of Miles working independently as a Spider-Man in his home dimension, before being called upon by Gwen to embark on a big multiversal adventure. Now, something that surprised me is that Peter B. Parker is back, which I was thrilled to see because I really loved this take on Spider-Man. I would love a full Peter B. Parker solo movie because it was such a fresh and convincing take on the adult Peter Parker that we haven't really seen in movies before. I mean, to be honest, there's a wealth of solo movies that could be made out of these Into the Spider-Verse films. Like a Miles Morales Spider-Man solo film would just be peak cinema. And I hope they will do that someday. I hope that these Spider-Verse movies aren't holding that back. Now, the reason why I was so surprised, though, to see Peter B. Parker here is because of the merchandise. There was the Across the Spider-Verse Peter B. Parker action figure, and it said based on Into the Spider-Verse. Now, a similar thing was done with, say, the No Way Home merch. You could get action figures from the No Way Home line of Mysterio and Vulture, yet it would say based on Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, largely implying that no, they're not going to appear in Spider-Man No Way Home. It's just that, you know, they're a part of that toy line. Now, the little blurb on the back of the packaging kind of conflicts with that, but, like, you know, you never know what is and isn't to be taken literally about action figure blurbs. Now, I definitely get the sense, though, that Peter B. Parker will be playing a smaller role in this one. He's definitely featured a lot less in this trailer than he was in the Into the Spider-Verse trailers. And we get one of our first glimpses at one of the newcomers to the Spider-Verse cast, I guess. And that is Spider-Woman Jessica Drew. And here she is fighting the Vulture, who appears to be in very much a sketchy art style, which I really appreciate. Now, Spot has been confirmed seemingly as the main villain of this film, but we haven't seen any of him in this trailer, which leads me to believe that he's going to be kind of shrouded in mystery. We have seen an image of him, so we know what he looks like, but we don't really know what to expect from, like, his motivation or his character or anything like that. Now, something that took me by surprise about the first look at the film was that Spider-Man 2099 seemed to be fighting against Miles Morales, that the conflict seemed to be between the two of them, and I was wondering, you know, what is it that 2099 has against Miles? Why are they fighting? I mean, they're both Spider-Men, right? Is this someone disguised as Spider-Man 2099? Has he been corrupted? Well, in this trailer, we don't see anywhere near as much of that, but what we do see is that pretty much all the other Spider-Men are trying to take down Miles as well. Which leads me to question, why do all of the other Spider-Men want to stop Miles? Now, there does appear to be a potential alliance or a potential understanding going on here, as we do see Peter B. Parker, Gwen Stacy, Miles Morales, and Miguel O'Hara all in the same room, seemingly standing and talking, and I get the feeling that maybe Peter B. will be playing a sort of a mediator figure in this conflict. I mean, I severely doubt that Miles Morales is really doing anything wrong, and, you know, this is probably a big misunderstanding. Unless he's being misled, you know, unless, you know, actions he's taking heroically are damaging the multiverse, I don't know. Maybe somehow he's opening portals to see Gwen and it's damaging the multiverse, and all the other spider people are like, hey, stop that. Either way, wouldn't hurt to communicate, but hey, we'd be missing out on some seriously cool action sequences if we did. What's interesting here is that Gwen seems to be doubting Miles. There's that point where she says we're supposed to be the good guys. So could it be that Miles is having to make very difficult decisions here? I mean, obviously he's gonna have to make some difficult decisions. It's a Spider-Man movie, you know, that's what Spider-Man does. He makes the tough decisions. He decides who lives and who dies, whose lives matter. Okay, that's a complete misrepresentation, but being Spider-Man is always about, you know, making the tough choices. And maybe some choices are uglier than others. Maybe that's why Gwen seems to be going against Miles here. But what's he doing? What is he cooking? Now, I was able to spot quite a few Spideys in this trailer during the whole melee, all of the Spideys fighting against Miles. I saw Spider-Man Unlimited, I saw the PS4 Insomniac Spider-Man, Spider-Clan, Superior, the old trusty Spidey armor. There's a lot of, like, alternate suits here that seem to have taken on lives of their own, so I'm intrigued to see how many of these are actually going to be characters and how many of these are just going to be cameos. There's the chonky boy Spider-Man as well, he's in there. What Spider people would you hope to see, be it from the comics or movies or multimedia? There's that cool Corridor Digital shot of Spider-Man Everyone's Home, and I think that's what a lot of people are probably wanting from this. Hey, I'm game to double dip. It would be cool if we could see the trio of Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire together again. And, like, they could know each other as well, which would be really cool. Like, they're literally bros. Even if it's just for, like, one scene. I'd love that. Call me basic, but I think I would like to see that more than anything else. Although like a 60s Spider-Man in the bunch, and I don't mean like the 60s animated series, I mean a 60s Ditko Spidey. That would be really cool, one that's a little cranky. You know, given that we appear to have the Insomniac verse Peter Spider-Man, how about the Insomniac verse Miles Spider-Man? That'd be kind of cool. I also like that this trailer used music from the film as well, at least music I recognize from that first movie. But on a whole, it's a good trailer. It's got a bit of a somber tone to it, which I appreciate. At the end of the day, no matter how good this trailer is, I'm gonna have some trepidation about me, simply because Into the Spider-Verse was so good, I don't think it can be topped, and I don't think it can be matched. But at the same time, I'm more than open to it, and I'm more than open to just more of it, you know? Like, I'm ready for it, you know? Across the Spider-Verse, it looks pretty fantastic. You know, everything that I really loved about the first one appears to be all here. And, you know, like, what we're not seeing is things like Spider-Man Noir, we're not seeing Spider-Ham, we're not seeing Penny Parker, who I guess I can live without. But all the same, even if it's just like a cameo, it'd be cool to see him. But bottom line, I'm hoping that this film is not just going to be cameos galore, fan service galore. And I trust that it won't be. They definitely seem to have this theme of Miles Morales having like a coming of age story, a sense of kind of him and Gwen against the world. Like, it still looks like you've got your main Spidey crew, and the rest are likely going to be either side characters or cameos, like what we had in Into the Spider-Verse, where the main crew were the main trio of Miles, Peter, and Gwen. In this one, it might be Miles, Gwen, Miguel, and maybe Peter B. So then after the trailer, they had a YouTube Premium exclusive after party. But don't worry, I've got you covered. I'll give you the rundown of what was said at the after party, because it does reveal quite a lot that we didn't already know about. Now, if you'd rather just go in completely blind, then, you know, maybe skip the after party. But I'm going to talk about kind of what they talked about, basically. So one of them was that the theme of the film is kind of growing up, Miles wanting to kind of stay true to his roots, stay true to his family, but blaze his own trails, which makes a lot of sense with everything with, you know, the themes of motherhood as well going on. So yeah, that is very much validated by that. Now, here's kind of where the stuff from the after party really becomes like news, I guess. And it's that Gwen is invited into Spider-Man 2099's Spider-Force, but Miles is not invited. So there appears to be like an interdimensional network of spider people led by Miguel O'Hara. And for whatever reason, Miles Morales is not invited. The Spider-Woman that we saw in the trailer is definitely Jessica Drew, and she's pregnant, like in the all-new, all-different run. And she kind of serves as a mentor to Gwen. Now, in that very first look teaser, we saw what looked like a very Indian landscape as Miles and Miguel were fighting. And yes, Spider-Man of India will be appearing in the film. Now, Spider-Punk will be playing a fairly major role in this one as well, as he becomes quite buddy-buddy with Gwen Stacy. Which makes sense given that she performs with the Mary Janes and he's a Spider-Punk. However, some folks also notice that Gwen has had a change in footwear. Those are gifted to her by Spider-Punk. Now, because the two have such a special bond, it does make Miles kinda jealous, as Miles definitely likes Gwen in these movies. Now, I think the main determining factor there would be if Spider-Punk is portrayed as a bit more of an adult, while Gwen and Miles are still kinda kids. I'm kinda not hoping that they're gonna do like a love triangle thing with this. Like, jealousy is jealousy, but I don't want like Spider-Punk to be like, oi, love, ignore that Miles chap, you know, you go with me. Yeah, none of that. Unless, of course, it's done really well, but like, I don't know, I'm pretty much open to anything provided it's done to a high standard. Now, where is Peter B at? Because the last time we saw Peter B in Into the Spider-Verse, he was incredibly down on his luck. He'd passed up the opportunity to be with Mary Jane because she wanted kids and he didn't want kids, at least not at the time. But by the end of the film, he did want to make amends with Mary Jane. Well, we're flashing forwards and he has successfully. He's back with Mary Jane and they've had a child. They've had Mayday Parker, potentially setting up Spider-Girl for a future installment. I think these Spider-Verse movies are a really good way to incorporate like these different parts of Spider-Man's history that you might not necessarily want in the core universe or in the MCU or anything like that. Like, for the MCU, I don't necessarily want to see, you know, Spider-Gwen or Mayday Parker. Like, for the MCU, I think I'd like them just to keep it to, like, the big two of Peter and Miles. Like, I would hope that we'll get a Miles Morales becoming Spider-Man in the MCU as well. Hopefully, that doesn't come with killing off Peter Parker. Although a really cool time to introduce Miles Morales would have been between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. They could even have it so that he already established himself during that period and he re-emerges and people thought he was like some kind of urban legend. And maybe Miles is actually older than Peter in this universe because of the blip and the time displacement. Wait, where was I going with this? Yeah, movie looks good, alright? Everything we're hearing sounds promising. You know, I guess, I don't know, like, maybe I'm just reading too far into this. Part of me kind of wishes that the film would say it's kind of okay that Peter B. Parker didn't want kids, because, like, while he lost out on his marriage with Mary Jane and everything, if he didn't want kids, he didn't want kids. As a guy who doesn't want kids, I would hope that I'm not going to go on an interdimensional adventure that results in me having kids, because I just don't want them. If an interdimensional adventure is going to make me want kids, I don't want to go on the interdimensional adventure. That's not even a criticism of the film, that's just like a thought that's just in my head. That's just like part of the train, you know? Like, maybe I shouldn't antagonize so much about what is an actual criticism of the film and what's just a thought in my head. These are my thoughts, alright? If you want my complete objective analysis of the trailer, well, you kind of got it in there. I'm just kind of offering you thoughts as like the fries with your quarter-pounded cheese, if you will. And with that said, I think it's time for you to leave. Because right now, I don't think I've got anything more to feed you, and I think you're getting a little fat as well. So yeah, Across the Spider-Verse looks really cool. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Good night. I say, you've made it to the end of the video! Congrats. No, but seriously, thanks a bunch for watching. And just now, I'll be extending a special thanks to the patrons in the $10 tier, who are Adam Myers, Ken K, Legendary Ray Ray, Mr. SP, Sergio, That Jordo, and Where's Arnold? What an amazing and generous bunch of people. Thank you guys so much for your support. And if you want to join the ranks of these amazing people right here, the link to my Patreon is in the description below. Guys, these are not the easiest times in the world financially, so every little bit you folks are donating is doing wonders. I really would love to be able to do YouTube as a proper fully fledged career someday. It might just be a pipe dream, but maybe you guys can prove some people wrong. But of course, if donations aren't your thing, then, well, it means plenty to me that you just hit that cute little subscribe button over there. I didn't mean hit that way. Well, that's me done for the day. Thanks a whole bunch for your support, and have a fantastic day. I'm gonna see you so soon.
Look!